The research vessel times constellation's edge times drifted through the asteroid field like a metal whale navigating ancient coral reefs. Captain Zethkar watched the tactical display with growing unease, his blue-scaled fingers drumming against the command chair. 3 days ago, they had detected unusual energy signatures emanating from a derelict human vessel, dating back nearly 2 centuries to the early days of human space exploration. "Captain, we're picking up something interesting," announced Science Officer Veltara, her 4 eyes focusing independently on different scanner readouts. The human ship appears to have functioning cryo systems still active. Multiple life signs detected. The bridge fell silent, except for the gentle hum of life support systems. The Galactic Council had strict protocols about disturbing human ruins. Humans had vanished from known space over 150 years ago, leaving behind only scattered outposts and derelict ships. Most species considered them a cautionary tale about aggressive expansion without proper preparation. "How many life signs?" Zethkar asked, though part of him already regretted the question. 6 signatures, all stable. The cryopods appear to be military grade, far superior to anything we've seen from that era. Commander Thorak, the ship's Krillian security chief, shifted his massive frame nervously. His people had encountered humans before the disappearance, and the stories weren't pleasant. "Captain, perhaps we should report this to the Council first." Human military personnel were unpredictable. Zethkar considered this advice, but scientific curiosity won over caution. The chance to study living humans was unprecedented. "Prepare a boarding party. Full environmental suits and recording equipment." This could be the discovery of the century. The derelict ship, designated times Ghostwalker times according to faded hull markings, showed signs of advanced human military technology. The boarding team moved cautiously through corridors lined with strange symbols and warning signs in multiple human languages. Emergency lighting cast eerie shadows across walls marked with what appeared to be tactical diagrams and kill counts. "These markings," whispered Dr. Nix Ara, the expedition's xenobiologist, "they're not like anything in our records of human civilian vessels." The cryobay doors opened with a pneumatic hiss that echoed through the ship. 6 pristine cryopods arranged in perfect formation, each displaying green status lights and vital signs that suggested the occupants were not merely surviving, but thriving in their artificial sleep. Lieutenant Quextall examined the nearest pod's display panel. "Captain, these aren't ordinary humans. Look at these readings. Enhanced bone density, modified cardiovascular systems, neural augmentations. These appear to be soldiers from something called the Phantom Corps." The name meant nothing to any of them, but Thorak's translator picked up additional information from the ship's computer systems. "Captain, I'm detecting weapons lockers throughout this vessel. Energy signatures suggest armaments far beyond standard human technology from that period." Despite growing concerns, scientific protocol demanded they attempt revival. The team established a sterile field around the first cryopod and began the awakening sequence. Warning lights flashed as ancient systems came online, and the pod's occupants stirred. The first thing they noticed were the eyes. Even before the human fully awakened, his eyes snapped open with predatory alertness that made the entire boarding team step backward involuntarily. The man sat up slowly, scanning his surroundings with mechanical precision, his gaze cataloging every team member's position, equipment, and potential threat level. "Status report," the human said in perfect galactic standard, though his accent was strange and clipped. "Mission parameters, current date, hostile count." "Doctor," Nixara stepped forward carefully, "you've been in cryosleep for approximately 180 standard years. We're a scientific expedition from the Galactic Council. You're safe. One caster's rightment. One caster's rightment. One caster's rightment. One caster's rightment." The human's laugh was cold and humorless. "Safe is a relative term, Doctor. You woke up. Sergeant Marcus Chen, Phantom Corps Sniper Division." I suggest you wake my team and brief us on our situation immediately. That might not be, Thorak began, but Chen's stare silenced him. That wasn't a suggestion, big guy. Within an hour, all 6 humans were awake and moving with unsettling coordination. They had introduced themselves with military precision. Sergeant Marcus Chen, the team leader. Corporal Lisa, Ghost Rodriguez, their spotter. Private Jake, Boom Patterson, explosives specialist. Corporal Sam, Viper Williams, close quarters combat. Private Maria, Eagle Santos, long-range reconnaissance. And Private David, Phantom Kim, their technical specialist. Each human stood nearly 2 meters tall. Their bodies clearly enhanced beyond baseline human parameters. Their movements were fluid and economical, like predators conserving energy between hunts. Most disturbing was their complete lack of amazement or confusion about their situation. They adapted to their circumstances with frightening efficiency. So, Chen said, examining a datapad showing the current galactic political situation. Humans disappeared from known space. Wars ended. Peace reigned. Very neat and tidy. Captain Zethkar felt proud, explaining how the galaxy had achieved unprecedented peace and cooperation in humanity's absence. We've eliminated warfare between species. Disputes are settled through diplomatic channels. The Council maintains order through weakness, interrupted Rodriguez, checking something on her wrist computer. You've achieved peace through weakness and complacency. Now see here. Thorak growled, rising to his full imposing height. The current system has brought prosperity to billions. His words died as he found himself staring down the barrel of a weapon that had materialized in Chen's hand with impossible speed. The other humans had spread out unconsciously, creating overlapping fields of fire that covered the entire boarding party. Rule number 1, Chen said calmly, never taking his eyes off Thorak. Don't threaten my team. Rule number 2, don't raise your voice to my people. Rule number 3, remember that we're not your average humans. We're what happens when humanity gets serious about warfare. Dr. Nixera's scanner was going crazy. Captain, they're weapons. The energy signatures don't match anything in our databases. The technology appears to be classified, Kim interrupted, and it's going to stay that way. Captain Zethkar realized they had made a terrible mistake. These weren't desperate survivors, grateful for rescue. They were apex predators who had been sleeping, waiting, and now they were awake in a galaxy that had forgotten what real soldiers looked like. What do you want? He managed to ask. Chen's smile was sharp as a blade. We want to know what happened to the rest of humanity. We want to know why our mission logs show we were supposed to wake up after 6 months, not 180 years. And we want to know who's responsible for leaving us in the dark. He holstered his weapon with fluid grace, but somehow that made him seem more dangerous, not less. But first, we're going to need transportation. And you're going to provide it. Santos spoke for the first time, her voice carrying an odd accent. Boss, long-range scans show multiple council ships converging on our position. Looks like someone triggered an alert. Expected. Chen nodded. Patterson, how long to wire this ship for remote detonation? Give me 10 minutes. The explosives expert replied cheerfully, as if discussing the weather. Captain Zethkar felt his world tilting. You can't destroy this ship. It's an archaeological treasure. The scientific value alone is worth exactly nothing if it falls into the wrong hands, Williams said, appearing beside the captain with disturbing stealth. Our ship contains technology that could destabilize your pretty, peaceful galaxy. We won't let that happen. Chen studied the approaching council fleet on the tactical display. 12 ships, all peaceful exploration vessels with minimal defensive capabilities. They're coming to investigate, not to fight. Should we disappear? Rodriguez asked. Not yet. I want to see how they handle a real threat. It's been 180 years since anyone in this galaxy faced serious opposition. Time to shake things up. Kim was already interfacing with the Times constellation's Edge Times computer systems, his augmented hands moving across holographic displays with inhuman speed. Boss, I'm in their networks. Their security is laughable. I could take control of their entire fleet from here. Don't. Not yet. Let's see what kind of diplomacy they try first. The first Council ships dropped out of hyperspace with weapons powered down and communication arrays broadcasting peaceful intentions. Captain Zethkar watched helplessly as Chen's team prepared for what they clearly expected to be a conflict. They're hailing us, Veltara reported, her voice shaky. Put them through, Chen ordered, stepping into the command center like he belonged there. Admiral Kexthalen's image appeared on the main screen, his reptilian features composed in an expression of cautious authority. This is Admiral Kexthalen, of the Galactic Council Peacekeeping Force. We're responding to a distress signal from this sector. Please identify yourselves and state your intentions. Chen studied the Admiral with cold calculation. Sergeant Marcus Chen, Terran Phantom Corps. We're conducting recovery operations on a derelict human vessel. No assistance required. Also, the Admiral's expression shifted to confusion, then concern. Sergeant, according to our records, no human military forces have operated in this sector for over a century. We'll need to verify your identity and— Admiral, Chen interrupted. Let me save you some time. We're not asking for verification. We're not requesting permission. We're informing you as a courtesy that this sector is temporarily under human military jurisdiction while we complete our mission. That's impossible. Humans have no current military presence in Council space. You'll need to accompany us for debriefing, and— The transmission cut off as Kim disabled their communication array with casual efficiency. Patterson, status on those charges? Ready to blow, boss. Say the word. Chen turned to Captain Zethkar, who was staring at the tactical display showing 12 Council ships moving into formation. Captain, I need you to understand something. Your peaceful galaxy is about to get very complicated. My team and I represent human military doctrine at its finest. We're what your species used to call the sharp end of the stick. He gestured at the approaching fleet. Those ships out there are used to dealing with diplomatic solutions and peaceful negotiations. They're not equipped to handle soldiers who were trained to end wars, not start them. Santos was monitoring long-range sensors from her position. Boss. Detecting massive hyperspace signatures. Something big is coming. How big? Dreadnought class. Multiple contacts. These aren't Council ships. Chen's expression hardened. Kim, full system access. Now. Rodriguez, get me firing solutions on everything in this sector. Williams, secure our escape route. Patterson, hold those charges until I give the word. Captain Zethkar felt reality shifting around him. What's happening? Who are those ships? That, Chen said grimly, is why the Phantom Corps was created. Looks like our wake-up call wasn't an accident after all. Someone's been waiting for us to surface. The first unknown vessels dropped out of hyperspace, like metallic nightmares. Their hulls bristling with weapons that made Council ships look like children's toys. They moved with predatory grace, surrounding the Council fleet before Admiral Kexthalan could even issue new orders. Chen watched the enemy formation with professional interest. Whoever they are, they know their business. Classic pincer movement. Overlapping fields of fire. Exit routes blocked. Are we going to help them? Dr. Nix Era asked, gesturing toward the trapped Council ships. Chen's smile was sharp and predatory. Doctor, we're about to show this galaxy what humans do best. He turned to his team. Phantom Corps, we have hostile contacts, engaging peaceful vessels. Mission parameters. Neutralize the threat. Minimize friendly casualties. And remind everyone why humans were feared. Finally, Williams grinned. Some real work. The unknown warships opened fire without warning, their energy weapons carving through space with deadly precision. Admiral Kexthalan's flagship shuddered under the first barrage, shields flaring and failing within seconds. The Council fleet scattered like frightened fish, their peaceful exploration vessels never designed for this level of violence. 16 unknown contacts, Santos reported, her enhanced vision tracking multiple targets simultaneously. Heavy cruiser classification, unknown technology. They're jamming all communications and herding the Council ships into a kill zone. Chen watched the slaughter with cold calculation. The attackers moved with military precision, but there was something wrong with their formation. Too perfect. Too predictable. Kim, hack their targeting systems. I want to know who we're dealing with. Already on it, boss. Kim's augmented fingers danced across holographic displays. These aren't random pirates. This is a coordinated military operation using technology that's familiar. Familiar how? Human baseline, but advanced. Really advanced. Like someone took our old designs and spent 2 centuries perfecting them. Rodriguez had positioned herself at a sensor station, her enhanced reflexes allowing her to track targets that moved too fast for normal eyes. Boss, I'm reading life signs on those ships. The crew configurations. They're human. The words hit the boarding party like a physical blow. Captain Zethkar stared at Chen in disbelief. That's impossible. Humans disappeared from this sector completely. There are no human colonies. No human fleets. That you know about, Williams interrupted. Looks like some of us found a better hiding spot. The lead attack vessel broadcast a message on all frequencies. The voice that emerged was unmistakably human, but cold and mechanical. Council vessels. You have 30 seconds to surrender unconditionally. Prepare for boarding operations. Resistance will result in immediate destruction. Chen studied the tactical display with growing understanding. They're not here for the Council ships. They're here for us. How can you be sure? Dr. Nixara asked. Because if I wanted to eliminate a Council patrol, I'd use half the ships and finish in half the time. This is overkill. Unless you're hunting something specific. Kim's screens flickered as he penetrated enemy systems. Boss, you need to see this. Their ship manifests show modifications specifically designed for capturing enhanced humans. Cryo-suppression fields, neural dampeners, the works. Someone's been hunting Phantom Corps soldiers, Santos realized. And they just found some. Chen's expression hardened. Options? Patterson checked his demolition charges. I can turn this ship into a very pretty firework. Take out anything within a kilometer radius. Council casualties? Significant. Not acceptable. Rodriguez. Can you get me clean shots on their command vessels? Rodriguez studied the enemy formation through her rifle scope. Negative. Too much interference from the Council ships. I'd need clear lines of sight. Rifle. Nunderface. Williams cracked his knuckles. What about boarding actions? Get me close enough to their ships, and I'll disable them from the inside. Too risky. We don't know their crew strength or internal defenses. Kim looked up from his displays. Boss, I might have something. Their ships are using a network-based targeting system. If I can inject a virus into their main battle computer, I could turn their weapons against each other. Do it. Already started. But I need 15 minutes and a distraction. Chen turned to Captain Zethkar. Captain, your fleet out there is about to be captured or destroyed. Your choice is simple. Let my team handle this, or watch your people die. But you're only 6 soldiers against 16 warships. We're 6 Phantom Corps soldiers, Rodriguez corrected. There's a difference. The Council flagship exploded without warning, its shields overwhelmed by concentrated fire. Admiral Kexthalan's ship broke apart in brilliant flames, escape pods scattered like seeds in the wind. Time's up, Chen announced. Kim, how long? 12 minutes. Patterson. Rig a distraction. Something loud and obvious. Oh, I've got just the thing. Patterson's grin was slightly unhinged as he activated a series of charges throughout the derelict ship. The explosions weren't meant to destroy, but to create a massive energy signature that would mask their real activities. The Times Ghostwalker Times shuddered and sparked, emergency klaxons blaring as hull breaches vented atmosphere. To external sensors, it would appear the ancient ship was finally dying. Excellent. Chen nodded. Now for Phase 2. Santos, I need you to get aboard one of those council ships. Their crew needs to know how to survive what's coming. Boss. They're terrified of us already. How am I supposed to? By being human. Show them what we're capable of when we're trying to save people, instead of kill them. Santos nodded and moved toward the airlock. Her enhanced physiology allowed her to survive in vacuum for short periods, and her recon training made her nearly invisible to most sensor arrays. Meanwhile, Williams was studying the enemy ships through a telescope. Boss, their hull configurations show docking bay modifications. They're definitely planning to board and capture rather than destroy. Good. That gives us an advantage. How? They'll try to take prisoners. We won't. Kim's virus was working its way through enemy systems, but the attackers had noticed the intrusion. Boss, they're adapting faster than expected. Someone over there knows human cyber warfare doctrine. Then we adapt faster. Rodriguez, can you disable their communication array on the lead ship? Quote. Rodriguez studied the target through her scope. Distance is extreme, but the shot is possible. One chance, only. Take it. The shot was impossible by any normal standard. 3 kilometers through space, targeting a communication array less than 2 meters wide. While both ships maneuvered in combat, Rodriguez's enhanced reflexes and augmented rifle made it merely difficult. The enemy command ship's communications array disintegrated in a shower of sparks. Their formation immediately became less coordinated as individual captains struggled to maintain tactical awareness without central coordination. Beautiful shooting, Chen complimented. Kim, status? Virus is in their primary systems, but they're starting to isolate infected networks. I need more time. Patterson. Give him more time. Patterson launched a series of microcharges from the Times Ghostwalker *, each one programmed to detonate near enemy ships at carefully calculated intervals. The explosions weren't large enough to cause serious damage, but they forced the attackers to adjust their positioning and divided their attention. Captain Zethkar watched the display in amazement. Your soldiers are coordinating this entire operation without verbal communication. How? Neural mesh network, Chen explained absently, most of his attention focused on tactical calculations. Standard issue for Phantom Core. We can share thoughts, sensory data, and tactical information instantly. That technology was theoretical even when humans were active in this sector. Theoretical for everyone else. Santos had reached one of the council vessels, the science ship Times Stellar Inquiry *. She breached their hull through a maintenance airlock and made contact with the terrified crew. Listen carefully, she told the ship's captain, a nervous Altarian named Quexmol. In approximately 8 minutes, the enemy ships are going to start firing on each other. When that happens, you need to maneuver behind the largest enemy vessel and use it as cover. How can you possibly know? Because we're making it happen. Just trust me and follow my instructions exactly. Kim's virus finally reached critical mass. Boss, I'm in their fire control systems, ready to activate on your command. Santos, are our friendly vessels in position? Affirmative. Council ships are moving to safe positions. Do it. The enemy formation dissolved into chaos as their own weapons turned against them. Ships that had been working in perfect coordination suddenly found themselves locked onto each other, their targeting computers identifying former allies as hostile threats. The lead command vessel tried to broadcast orders, but Rodriguez's shot had left them communicating through secondary systems with limited range. 2 enemy ships exchanged devastating broadsides before their crews realized what was happening. Williams, you're up. Board the command ship. While they're distracted, Williams launched himself from the Times Ghostwalker Times using a personal maneuvering unit, his enhanced physiology allowing him to survive the violent deceleration as he impacted the enemy hull. His augmented strength let him tear through the outer plating with tools that would normally require heavy machinery. "I'm inside their ship," Williams reported through the neural mesh. "Crew is definitely human, but something's wrong with them. They're moving too slowly, thinking too slowly, like they're drugged or enhanced in the wrong direction. Scan for control implants," Chen ordered. "Already on it." "Boss, these people have neural control devices implanted in their brainstems. Someone's been puppeting them." The implications hit everyone simultaneously. These weren't voluntary soldiers. They were controlled slaves, forced to fight against their will. "Kim, can you disable the control systems?" "Working on it, but it's delicate. One wrong move, and I could kill everyone on their ships. Do what you can." "Williams, secure their command center and prepare for prisoner extraction." The battle was turning in their favor, but Chen realized this was just the beginning. Someone had been preparing for this confrontation for decades, possibly centuries. They had built a fleet, enslaved human crews, and waited for Phantom Corps soldiers to emerge from hiding. "Boss," Santos called from her position with the Council survivors, "the enemy fleet is pulling back. They're abandoning the engagement. Let them go. We have bigger problems." Captain Zethkar stared at the tactical display showing enemy ships retreating into hyperspace, leaving behind 3 disabled vessels and several hundred enslaved humans. "I don't understand. You won. Why aren't you pursuing?" "Because this was a probe," Chen explained. "Someone wanted to test our capabilities, see how we'd respond to a threat against innocent civilians. Now they know." Kim had successfully disabled the neural control devices on the captured ships, and the enslaved crews were beginning to regain their free will. The confusion and horror in their transmissions was heartbreaking. "Medical teams are needed," reported Dr. Nix Era, who had beamed over to the captured vessels with emergency supplies. "These people have been under neural control for years, possibly decades. The psychological damage is extensive." Rodriguez was monitoring long-range sensors for signs of additional threats. "Boss, I'm detecting hyperspace signatures. Multiple fleets moving toward this position. Council reinforcements? Negative. Unknown contacts. But they're using the same energy signatures as the ships that just retreated." Chen studied the tactical information with growing concern. The retreating ships hadn't been running away. They had been calling for backup. "How many ships?" "At least 60. Possibly more. They'll be here within the hour." Captain Zethkar felt his world shifting again. 60 ships? That's larger than most Council sector fleets. Who could command such a force? Chen's expression was grim. Someone who's been planning this for a very long time. Someone who knows exactly what Phantom Corps soldiers are capable of, and prepared accordingly. He turned to his team. "New mission parameters. We need to evacuate all survivors and get them to safety. Then, we need to find out who's behind this, and why they want us so badly." "Boss," Williams called from the captured command ship, "you need to see this. I found their mission logs." "Boss." The information Williams transmitted through the neural mesh changed everything. The enslaved crews had been searching for Phantom Corps cryo ships for over a century, following a careful pattern that suggested they knew exactly where to look. "Someone's been tracking us," Chen realized. "Our cryo signatures, our ship designs, our locations. This wasn't a random encounter, which means," Rodriguez added, "they know where the other Phantom Corps ships are hidden." The full scope of the threat was becoming clear. Somewhere in the galaxy, a hidden enemy had been building fleets, enslaving humans, and systematically hunting down the most dangerous soldiers humanity had ever produced. Kim was analyzing the captured ship databases. "Boss, according to these logs, we're not the first team they've found. There are references to at least 12 other successful captures over the past 50 years. "Successful captures," Santos repeated, "meaning other Phantom Corps soldiers have already been taken." Chen stared at the approaching hyperspace signatures that represented an enemy fleet large enough to challenge the entire Council military. His team had awakened to find themselves in the middle of a war they didn't understand, fighting an enemy that knew them better than they knew themselves. "This is bigger than we thought," he concluded. "Someone's been preparing for the return of humanity, and they're ready for us." The enemy fleet dropped out of hyperspace in perfect formation, 67 ships arranged in a sphere that completely surrounded the scattered council vessels, and the derelict Times Ghostwalker ***. Chen watched the deployment with professional admiration and growing dread. "They're not making the same mistakes as the probe force," he observed. "No single point of failure, overlapping coverage, multiple command structures. Someone learned from our last engagement." Kim was frantically analyzing the new fleet's composition. "Boss, these ships are different. Heavier armor, redundant systems, and they're broadcasting on multiple encrypted frequencies. Whatever happened to our virus won't work twice." "Expected. Rodriguez, assessment?" Rodriguez studied the enemy formation through her scope. "They've positioned themselves to prevent any escape attempts, but they're maintaining maximum range from us. They know what our weapons can do." "Williams, if I had a weak and unlimited explosives, maybe I could disable a quarter of them. This isn't a problem we can solve with violence." Santos was monitoring communications from the surviving council ships. "Boss, the council survivors are panicking. They want to surrender. To prevent further casualties." Chen considered their options. 67 ships meant thousands of enslaved humans under neural control, all forced to fight against their own people. Direct confrontation would result in massive casualties among innocents, which violated every principle the Phantom Corps stood for. "Kim, can you identify the command structure in that fleet?" "Working on it. Their communication protocols are more sophisticated than the probe force, but there are patterns. 3 primary command vessels, each controlling a section of the fleet. Can you trace the control signals back to their source?" "Maybe. But boss, if these people are under neural control like the last batch, disabling the command ships might kill them. The neural feedback could—" "I know the risks. Do it anyway. Dead-free humans are better than living slaves." Captain Zethkar overheard this exchange with horror. "You're talking about killing thousands of people." "We're talking about freeing thousands of people," Chen corrected. "Those aren't willing soldiers out there. They're prisoners being forced to fight." Patterson had been unusually quiet, studying something on his personal scanner. "Boss, I'm detecting some weird energy signatures from the enemy fleet. Not just their engines and weapons. Something else." "What kind of signatures?" "Looks like—" "Boss, I think they've got more Phantom Corps soldiers aboard those ships. The energy patterns match our cryo systems." The revelation hit Chen like a physical blow. The enemy wasn't just using enslaved regular humans. They had captured and reprogrammed other Phantom Corps soldiers. How many? At least 20 signatures. Maybe more. Rodriguez lowered her rifle. "We could be facing our own people. Not our people anymore," Williams said grimly. "If they've been under neural control for years, their weapons pointed at us." 1. The enemy fleet began broadcasting on all frequencies. The voice that emerged was disturbingly familiar. Cold, professional, and unmistakably enhanced. It sounded like a Phantom Corps soldier, but wrong somehow. "Sergeant Chen, this is Commander Sarah Blake, Phantom Corps Pacification Division. You and your team will surrender immediately and report for neural adjustment. Resistance will result in the elimination of all council personnel in this sector." Chen felt his blood turn to ice. Sarah Blake had been his commanding officer during the war, a legend even among Phantom Corps soldiers. If she was alive and under enemy control. "Kim, can you verify that voice pattern?" "Already running analysis." "Boss, it's her. Vocal patterns match Commander Blake exactly, but there are artificial elements. Neural control implants are definitely altering her brain chemistry. Can we reverse the process? Unknown. The technology involved is beyond anything I've seen." The enemy fleet was moving into attack position, their formation tightening like a noose. Chen realized they had perhaps minutes before the shooting started again. All teams, emergency extraction protocol, he announced. Santos, get every council survivor aboard their fastest ship and out of here. Rodriguez, cover the evacuation. Patterson, rig the times Ghost Walker times for maximum detonation. Williams, with me. We're going to have a conversation with our former commander. Captain Zethkar grabbed Chen's arm. You can't board those ships alone. It's suicide, probably. But if I can get close enough to Blake, I might be able to break through the neural conditioning. She trained us. She knows how we think. That could work both ways. Kim was already preparing portable jamming equipment. Boss, if I can get within 50 meters of their command ship, I might be able to disrupt the control signals temporarily. Do it. 2. Santos was herding council survivors toward their remaining functional ships. Boss, the science vessel times Stellar Inquiry times has the fastest drives. They can reach council space in 6 hours. Get them moving. All of them. The council ships began emergency departures, their crews grateful to escape, but confused about abandoning the humans who had saved them. Captain Zethkar refused to leave despite direct orders from Chen. These are my people you're protecting, the captain insisted. I won't abandon you to face this alone. Your choice. But stay out of the fighting. Chen and Williams launched toward the enemy command ship, using personal maneuvering units, while Kim began broadcasting jamming signals. The enemy fleet responded immediately. Dozens of weapons tracking their movement. But no shots were fired. They want us alive, Williams observed. For now. They breached the enemy hull through a maintenance airlock. Williams's enhanced strength tearing through reinforced plating like paper. The ship's interior was eerily familiar. In pass. Human design, but modified with technology that felt wrong somehow. Neural suppression fields throughout the ship, Kim reported through their mesh link. I'm countering what I can, but close contact with control implants will be dangerous. They made their way toward the command center, encountering no resistance. The enslaved crew members they passed moved with mechanical precision, their eyes vacant and lifeless. Seeing fellow humans reduced to automatons was more disturbing than facing alien enemies. The command center doors opened automatically, revealing Commander Sarah Blake standing at a central console. She looked exactly as Chen remembered her from 2 centuries ago, thanks to cryopreservation and enhancement technology. But her eyes were wrong, cold and empty where they had once blazed with fierce intelligence. Marcus, she said, her voice carrying artificial warmth. You've grown predictable in your old age, walking directly into a trap to save innocence. Very noble, very human, very exploitable. Whoa, Sarah, I know you're still in there. Fight the control. Remember who you are. Blake laughed, and the sound was genuinely chilling because it was exactly her laugh, but directed at something she would have died before betraying. I remember everything, Marcus. I remember the war. I remember the casualties. I remember watching worlds burn because humanity was too stubborn to accept peaceful surrender. The neural implants didn't change my memories. They changed my priorities. Peaceful surrender to who? Who's behind this? Evolution, Marcus. Natural selection. Humanity had its chance to join the galactic community peacefully. Instead, we chose warfare and expansion. The galaxy defended itself. Williams was scanning the command center for threats. Boss, I'm reading massive neural activity from her implants. Whatever they did to her, it's extensive. Blake gestured to displays showing the positions of Chen's scattered team. Your people are brave and skilled, but they're fighting the wrong war. This isn't about conquest or control. This is about preventing humanity from making the same mistakes again. By enslaving us? By guiding us. The neural implants don't remove free will, Marcus. They remove destructive impulses, aggression, territorial expansion, the desire to dominate through violence. Chen studied his former commander, looking for any sign of the woman who had trained him. Sarah, look around you. You're commanding a fleet of enslaved humans to attack innocent council civilians. How is this guiding us toward peace? For just a moment, Blake's expression flickered. Something human and horrified showed in her eyes before the artificial calm returned. Temporary measures. The council needed to understand that humanity still exists and must be respected. Once proper protocols are established. Protocols established by who? Chen pressed. Who's really giving you orders? Blake's hand moved toward a control panel, but Williams was faster. His enhanced reflexes let him disable her before she could trigger whatever command she was reaching for. Kim, can you access her neural implants from here? Negative. The control systems are too integrated with her brain. Any direct interference could kill her. Chen made a decision that went against every instinct. He activated his neural mesh connection and extended it toward Blake's implanted systems. Knowing it was incredibly dangerous, the mental contact was like touching fire. Blake's artificial thoughts were cold and mechanical. But underneath, Chen could sense the real Sarah Blake, trapped and screaming in her own mind. Marcus. Her real voice whispered through the connection. They're not from outside the galaxy. They're us. Humans who accepted the implants voluntarily centuries ago. They think they're saving humanity from itself. Who leads them? Admiral Harrison. He was the first to accept neural adjustment after the war ended badly. He convinced others that human aggression was a disease that needed curing. The connection shattered as Blake's control implants fought back, but Chen had learned enough. The enemy wasn't alien. They were human collaborators who had chosen technological lobotomy over accepting responsibility for humanity's warlike nature. Williams, we need to leave. Now. Boss. What about Commander Blake? Chen looked at his former commander, who was struggling against Williams's restraints, while her implants forced artificial calm back into her expression. We can't save her. Not yet. But now we know who we're really fighting. They made their emergency extraction as the enemy fleet began powering weapons. Patterson's charges detonated throughout the Times Ghostwalker *. But instead of a simple explosion, the ancient ship's destruction triggered something unexpected. Boss, Kim called excitedly. The ship's destruction released an automated distress signal. Ancient human military protocols. It's broadcasting on frequencies that predate the neural control technology. Meaning, any Phantom Corps soldiers still in hiding will know we're active and under attack. The enemy fleet was withdrawing again, apparently satisfied with their intelligence gathering. They had confirmed that Chen's team was active, tested their capabilities, and delivered their ultimatum through Blake. Captain Zethkar watched the enemy ships disappear into hyperspace. They're letting us go again. Why? Because they're not trying to destroy us, Chen realized. They're trying to convert us. Admiral Harrison thinks he can convince us to accept neural adjustment voluntarily. Rodriguez was monitoring long-range communications. Boss, I'm picking up response signals to that distress call. Multiple sources, spread across the galaxy. Looks like we're not the only Phantom Corps team still active. How many responses? At least 30 different signatures, maybe more. Chen smiled for the first time since awakening. Harrison's collaborators had made a critical mistake. They had assumed most Phantom Corps soldiers were captured or eliminated. Instead, they had just announced to every hidden human military unit in the galaxy that the war was starting again. Kim, can you trace those response signals? Already working on it. Boss, some of these signals are coming from inside Council space. We've got allies closer than we thought. Excellent. Santos, what's the status on Council evacuation? All civilian vessels clear and heading for Council headquarters. Captain Zethkar insisted on staying behind to coordinate with us. Chen turned to the captain, who had proven his courage despite his species' peaceful nature. Captain, your people need to know what they're facing. This isn't a random attack. It's the opening move in a civil war that's been brewing for 2 centuries. A civil war within humanity? Between humans who accept our nature and humans who want to eliminate it. Your council needs to choose sides carefully. Captain Zethkar straightened his scaled shoulders. The council has already chosen, Sergeant. We stand with anyone who defends the innocent, regardless of species. Good. Because Harrison's people won't stop with just capturing Phantom Corps soldiers. They'll try to impose their version of peace on the entire galaxy. Kim had successfully traced several response signals to nearby systems. Boss, I've got coordinates for at least 12 other teams. If we can link up with them, we will. But first, we need weapons and intelligence. Harrison's been planning this for centuries. We need to level the playing field. Rodriguez was studying star charts, looking for strategic positions. Boss, there's something else. The pattern of Harrison's attacks suggests he's not just hunting random Phantom Corps units. He's looking for something specific, such as command codes, authorization protocols, the kind of information that could be used to activate or control human military installations that have been dormant since the war ended. Chen felt a chill of understanding. He's not just trying to capture soldiers. He's trying to seize control of humanity's entire military infrastructure. Chen, understand. Class Lictidi. Chen felt a chill of humanity's entire military infrastructure. Williams checked his weapons with grim satisfaction. Then we'd better stop him before he succeeds. The small human team prepared to face an enemy that combined the worst aspects of human military efficiency with alien technology, designed to suppress everything that made humanity dangerous. But they were no longer alone. Across the galaxy, other Phantom Corps soldiers were awakening from their hidden sleep, answering the call to defend not just humanity's right to exist, but humanity's right to remain truly human. The real war was just beginning, and this time, it would determine whether humanity would survive as a free species or become perfect slaves in their own galactic empire.